kiss for you.
Hey, how's it going? It's Alex, and recently I've started to attempt to read a book a week, and I thought I'd make a video on how to actually do it. Like, how do you actually read a book a week? Now, your average person reads 2 books a year, and that used to be me. Now, CEOs read 4 to 6 books a month, and they probably have a busier schedule than I do. So how do you actually read a book a week? How's it done? Well, it's easier than you think. Now, the reason I love reading books is because the people who write books usually have put decades of experience and knowledge, and it's all packed into one book. And if you can sit there for a week or a couple of days and read it, you can download that knowledge straight into your brain in such a small amount of time. So, how do you read a book a week without busting your ass doing so? Well, it's actually easier than you think. You've got to break it down and look at the numbers. It's essentially a numbers game. So, by looking at Amazon, they suggest that your average book has 64,000 words, and that your average person reads at 200 words per minute. Now, if you divide 64,000 words per book, divide it by 200 words per minute, you get 320 minutes per book. Therefore, you could say that to read an average sized book, it takes 320 minutes. Now, the number we want to know is how many minutes does it take per day. So if you divide 320 minutes, divided by 7 days, you get 45 minutes a day. Now, all it takes to read one book a week is 45 minutes. Now, when you put it that way, it sounds easy. Now, the real key to reading a book a week is to set that time aside. Set that time aside. Set 45 minutes aside every day. And I personally have started doing that. Before I was just reading here and there, but now that I've set 45 minutes aside every day, I'm actually getting through my books. Because if you don't actually set it aside, you end up not reading here and not reading there, and it turns into more of a dream rather than a reality. So set that 45 minutes aside every single day. Okay, so essentially all you need to do is set aside a repeating event in your calendar so that you sit down and read for 45 minutes every day. So you're essentially setting time aside for yourself, just like you'd set time aside for a business meeting or for other important events. So by putting it in your calendar, you'll be less likely to cancel and more likely to take action and get the job done. Another important thing to do is to schedule your reading at a time when you're most awake. Now, a lot of people associate reading with a means of putting yourself to sleep. Now, we don't want that. What we do want is to be reading at a time when we're most awake, most alert to actually process the information and to get value out of the book, because that is the point of reading, to get value. So the last thing I want to say is to just enjoy reading and just to really think about the value that you can get out of reading and how important it is. Now, there's a rule called the 3-book rule to becoming an expert, what basically means that if you can read 3 decent books in a certain level or subject, you will become smarter than the general level of knowledge. So by reading 3 books in a certain topic, you can become an expert on it. Think about that the next time you're reading a book.
Kiss for you.